Let me be honest with you for a second. There was a point in my life where I genuinely believed wealth was just not for people like me. Low income, no inheritance, no connections, no secret strategy, just a paycheck that never seemed to stretch far enough. And every time I'd see someone online talking about building wealth, I'd think, okay, but they probably started with money, or they got lucky, or they're just exaggerating. But here's what I eventually figured out, and it took me longer than I'd like to admit. Building wealth on a low income is not about having more money to start with. It's about understanding a specific order of moves. And most people get that order completely wrong. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact realistic timeline that actually changed my financial situation. Not a get rich quick pitch. Not a just invest for 40 years snooze fest. This is what worked for me, and what I believe can work for you, even if you're starting from the bottom. My name is Zach, and if you're someone who's tired of feeling stuck financially, hit subscribe. Let's get into it. Here's the thing nobody talks about when you're on a low income. The standard financial advice doesn't fit your situation. Max out your 401k. Okay, great. But what if you can barely cover rent? Cut your expenses. I was already eating rice and beans 3 nights a week. There wasn't much left to cut. The problem isn't that you're bad with money. The problem is that most wealth advice is written for people who already have breathing room. When you're low income, you don't have a math problem. You have an income problem. And until I understood that, I kept spinning my wheels. Because here's the truth: there's a ceiling on how much you can save, but there's no ceiling on how much you can earn. Let me give you some quick math to show you what I mean. Say you bring home $2,500 a month. After rent, food, bills, maybe you're saving $150. That's $1,800 a year. Over 5 years, even with decent investment returns, you're looking at maybe $11,000 to $12,000. That's not nothing, but it's not life changing either. Now, here's what changes the game entirely. If you spend 12 to 18 months focused on one thing, increasing what you bring in, everything else starts to shift. Not because you suddenly have a secret, but because the math just works differently. When I started taking my income seriously, learning skills that actually paid, being intentional about where I worked and how I positioned myself, my monthly take home started climbing. Slowly at first, then faster. And that extra income, I didn't lifestyle inflate. I invested it. That's the first move. Stop trying to squeeze savings out of a low income and start attacking the income itself. Now, here's where a lot of people mess up, including me, early on. You finally get a raise or a better job, and the first instinct is to breathe, upgrade a little, treat yourself. And look, I'm not saying don't enjoy your life, but there's a difference between a reward and a reset. What I started doing, and this one habit made a huge difference, is every time my income went up, I saved at least half of the increase before I did anything else. The other half, spend it guilt free. But that first half went straight to work. Psychologists call the trap hedonic adaptation. Basically, your brain adjusts to every upgrade fast. The new apartment that felt amazing in month one feels normal by month four. And then you want more. It's a treadmill. The way to win isn't to stop enjoying life. It's to make your savings rate automatic. Okay, so now you're earning more. You're protecting your savings rate. The third move is making sure that money doesn't just sit there. I'm not here to sell you on any specific investment strategy, but what changed things for me was getting consistent, even when the amounts felt small. Here's the thing about investing on a low income that nobody says: small amounts invested consistently matter more than you think, not because of the returns in year one, but because of the habits and momentum they build. By the time your income grows to a point where you can invest more aggressively, you already know what you're doing. You're not learning the ropes and deploying big money at the same time. Broad, low cost index funds have historically returned around 8 to 10% annually over long periods. Not every year, but over time. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. but consistency in long-term vehicles is what moved the needle for me. So, what does this realistically look like? Year 1 and 2, focus almost entirely on income. Learn something valuable. Switch jobs if you have to. Negotiate. Build a side income if that's your path. This phase feels slow because it is, but it's the foundation. Year 2 and 3. You start seeing the results of the income work. Now, the savings rate discipline kicks in harder. More coming in, but you're not letting your expenses grow at the same speed. Year 4 and 5, this is where the momentum becomes visible. Your invested money starts to look like a real number. Your income is significantly higher than when you started. And more importantly, you've built the habits. You're not white knuckling it anymore. It's just how you operate. I'm not going to throw out some big flashy number to impress you. What I'll tell you is this. After 5 years of this approach, my financial life looked completely unrecognizable compared to where I started. And the most important part, the next 5 years are moving even faster because of the foundation I built. Look, if you came into this video hoping for a shortcut, I'm sorry, there isn't one. But if you came here because you're tired of the same cycle and you actually want a path that works, this is it. 1. Attack your income first. That's the engine. 2. Protect your savings rate every time you level up. 3. Invest consistently in things that grow over time. 4. Give it 5 real years. Wealth on a low income is not a myth. It's just slower to start and faster to build than most people expect. The hard part isn't the strategy. The hard part is believing it's actually possible for you. I used to not believe that. Now I do. If this helped you, subscribe. I talk about this stuff all the time. And drop a comment. Where do you want your finances to be 5 years from today? I genuinely want to know.